All right, guys, welcome to another live stream. Welcome to another live stream. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Today we'll talk about what we can expect from the market this week. Then we'll play a little bit of chess. So this week we are going to 100% get a rate cut. It's going to be most likely 25 basis points. And I think the market is going to react favorably to the rate cut. I believe the meeting is Wednesday, and so maybe we get a run up. It's 100% priced in, or 100% certain that we'll get it. I'm not sure if it's totally priced in already, but we're going to see, in my opinion, either the days leading up to the rate cut, prices go up. Or obviously, I mean, there's only two things. Prices could go up, prices could go down. But I think there's going to also be more positive news said at that Fed meeting. Since everybody knows there's going to be a rate cut for that meeting this week, I think a lot of people are just focused on, okay, what else is Jerome Powell going to forecast going into the end of the year? A lot of people are talking about rate cuts in October as well, November as well, 3 rate cuts in a row. If you look at the Fed Watch tool, the percentages are in favor of 2 to 3 rate cuts. And honestly, if he does do the 25 basis point cut, it would just probably make it more likely that we will get a rate cut in October of another 25 basis points, because maybe he's just spread it out, right? So maybe he wants to do, instead of doing like 75 basis points or 50 basis points at once, just spread it out, and it kind of rejuvenates the market and get people a lot more excited and get the market, puts liquidity into the market. Let me just check my mic really quick to make sure everything's working. Give me just a sec. Rejuvenates the market and get people a lot more excited and get the market. All right, looks like the mic is working. Okay, so let's take a look here at this summary. Give me just a sec here. Okay, so what it looks like, what looks like it'll move markets this week. So first, obviously, we talked about the federal interest rate decision and commentary. Markets are expecting a 25 basis point cut from the Fed, but the focus really will be on the dot plot forecast, what Powell and the Fed say about the future. And that's what I'm saying. Once you already have these rate cuts priced in and it's 100% certainty we're going to get a rate cut, now people are already looking towards the future and say, okay, are we going to get another rate cut there soon after that, right? So it says, Fed says about the future, how many cuts, what conditions they'll need. If their tone is less dovish than expected, that could cause a sell-off, right? So I think a lot more focus is going to be on what he says after he says, okay, we're going to cut rates. That's going to determine what the market does that day, right? Now, probably again, leading up into the day, we are going to see positive movement, right? Okay, so it says economic data releases, inflation measures. So we got CPI, PPI last week. PPI came in favorable. CPI, I think it came at what was expected. So it was a less favorable reading. But overall, it didn't really get in the way of getting a rate cut here this week. So it says we'll continue to be in focus how fast or slow inflation. So we already got that. Labor market, there are already signs of softness, weak job creation. Markets will be watching for confirmation in upcoming job employment, and I think we already got that job report the week before the CPI and the PPI data. And it showed that the labor market was slowing down, softening up to where, not many people are getting hired. So, again, all those numbers, all that economic data just fueled the rate cut that we're going to get this week. It says other U.S. data, retail sales, industrial production, housing starts. These will help shape the view of how the economy is holding up. And yeah, so and I'm pretty sure Jerome Powell's going to talk about this in his speech this week as he announces the first rate cut, and he's going to just give his insight on where he thinks the economy is going and where are we at with future rate cuts. All right, emerging markets and FX impact. A weaker U.S. dollar is helping many emerging markets, both equities and debt outperform, but there's dispersion. Some emerging markets are doing much better due to favorable demographics, strong exposure to AI, semis, or stable inflation. Okay, so four, it says is technology and AI momentum. So for those of you who don't know, Oracle actually signed a deal. I believe it was with NVIDIA, right? It was like a 300 billion. Let me make sure I got this right. I think it was a $300 billion deal. What was the deal with Oracle and NVIDIA? $300 billion cloud deal. Oh, it was OpenAI. My bad. Sorry. But it was around data centers. So it says in mid-September 2025, the news regarding Oracle NVIDIA revolves around Oracle's strong earnings. No, so it was with NVIDIA. Why did I say OpenAI? Because it said it right there. OpenAI signed a deal to purchase $300 billion in computing power from Oracle over 5 years. So it looks like it's Oracle, but obviously NVIDIA's probably it's somewhat in that deal because of the chips. Which AI power should you buy now? But nonetheless, they signed a deal. It says AI remains major theme supporting risk assets, especially growth in tech stocks. Investors are looking for strong earnings or signals of strength in cloud, semis, and infrastructure. Yeah, I don't think the AI sector is slowing down. A lot of people are like, oh, well, we're not going to need demand for chips that much because they're going to continue to get cheaper, like this Moore's law type thing where, as technology gets better, as people find new ways to build these chips, they're just going to get cheaper. But I still think you're going to need a lot of powerful compute, right? So whether they get cheaper, I think there's always going to be a new chip, almost like an iPhone. There's always, every year they come out with a new iPhone. And you're like, okay, well, you already did these upgrades in the last iPhone. Like, what are you going to be putting in this new iPhone that we haven't seen before? They always talk about upgrading the camera, upgrading the chip. And it just seems like the old chip just gets slower. So I think it's the same thing for NVIDIA chips, AMD chips. Like, yeah, they may get cheaper, but I feel like NVIDIA, AMD are always going to find a way to build a better chip that's going to make people want to buy that chip. And the fact that everybody's utilizing AI, it's become the new Google search. I don't use Google pretty much obviously Google has integrated AI, but for the most part, I use ChatGPT for all my data searches or all my inquiries, right? And I'm pretty sure other people are using that too. And if not, they're gonna fall in line pretty soon if they're not using it. So that just constantly, I probably used ChatGPT over 30, 40 times yesterday, and that just it's using data, right? Data on compute, and I'm one person, right? There's millions of people, tens of millions of people that are going to be using this, and we're going to need a lot of compute. So I don't think this sector is going to slow down. What is up, brother? What do you think about the abnormal job numbers revision? Some of the biggest winners in AI Rush has been metal miners like copper. Yeah, all those picks and shovels plays what goes into making the chips. I think those will always do good. They probably won't be the biggest runner because, they're not building out the actual chips and things like that, but they play a key role. So I think those plays are always going to do good. Regarding the jobs number, I think the new administration hired a new statistic person. So they a lot of people are speculating that those numbers are not the right numbers, or they made it so that it would fit to be, more favorable to get that rate cut. So I don't know, because remember, they just fired that, I think it was the lady or somebody that the administration didn't like how the numbers were coming out. So they end up firing her, and then they hired a new person. So I'm not sure about the job numbers. I'm not sure if what's being told is correct or accurate, but it just always seems to line up with the 4-year cycle. And not just for crypto, the 4-year cycle for assets. It just seems like every 4 years we end up getting rate cuts. Tech stocks go up, and we just have a bull cycle. So I'm not sure, right? I'm not sure if those numbers are correct, but there's a lot of suspicion. I was watching a lot of YouTube videos, and there's a lot of suspicion about putting people in there to kind of manipulate the numbers. I don't know if that's true, but it just seems a little funny, right? Let's just say that. So that's my answer to that. All right. What else? It says, so it looks like gold has been going up too. I really don't keep up with gold, but usually when Bitcoin does good or crypto does good, gold tends to follow, or gold does good and then crypto tends to follow, because they're kind of like safe haven assets. It says, with expectations of rate cuts and some softness in labor market / inflation, gold is getting bullish attention. Also, any signs of economic weakness, inflation surprises, or geopolitical risk could drive flows into the safe havens. Right. As there's more uncertainty in jobs, the economy, people are going to move to safer assets like, you could say real estate, gold, Bitcoin, things like that. Obviously, Bitcoin's a little more, riskier because the market cap. We're in the trillions, but it's not like gold where it's like 20 trillion, or even the real estate market, which is probably like close to 20 trillion or even more. So yeah. So gold and safe assets will benefit crypto market. So if we look at the prices for crypto, yesterday we took a slight dip. I think overnight. I think last night we were at 116 for a BTC, and then I woke up this morning, we were at 115. It looks like all coins sold off a little bit. But if you look at if you go to Coin Market Cap and you look at the altcoin season indicator, it's gone up substantially, right? So let's see here. It was at 71 yesterday. It's at 64 today. So it looks like, again, a slight sell-off, but I think it's just going to ramp up as we get this rate cut. And then again, if Powell says something really bullish, I think that's just going to amplify it. And again, we are in the last year of the halvening, or the year after the halvening, and usually we go parabolic. I say, again, 2012, we had the halvening, 2013, parabolic, 2016, halvening, 2017, parabolic. 2020, halvening, 2021, parabolic. 2024, halvening. 2025, we're most likely going to go parabolic. And the environment is set up for that, right? Rate cuts, institutional money coming into the space. If you go on X, you see people getting really excited for the crypto market. Oh, this is going to be this. This is going to do this. We're going to get a 10x. A lot of people are getting scammed too. Like, you end up getting more text messages. Oh, like that's another thing. You got to be careful about these scams. Like once the market starts to pick back up and people see like we're going into that parabolic stage, you start to see all these scams, especially if you have a Coinbase or a Binance account. Whatever you have, you tend to see, I was getting emails and stuff like, oh, Coinbase withdraw. I know some family members that have gotten some emails, and just want to make sure you don't click on those messages, those emails, because, the most likely will drain your account, especially if you don't have like a two-factor. Everybody should have two-factor authentication, preferably through something like Google Authenticator, because the phone, they're doing a lot of like SIM swaps and things like that, where you know somehow they can hack into your phone and create a new SIM and stuff like that. So it's getting very sophisticated. So I definitely would recommend during this time, like if you don't need to send any crypto, don't send any crypto. A lot of people end up getting scammed, and a lot of those people waited for 2 to 3 years for this moment, for the parabolic run, all to lose it because you clicked the wrong link. So make sure that you're being very careful. If you made it this far, you don't want to lose that portfolio during this time period. It would be very sad, right? But yeah, I think the history has shown we go parabolic. What do you think about the Putin accusation that the U.S. is attempting to ease the national debt through cryptocurrencies? I haven't heard about that. Honestly, I don't try to get into the kind of like the political landscape. I do not think it holds much water, but let me know what you think. What do you think about the Putin accusation? Yeah, I haven't heard about the Putin accusation. I'm pretty sure he accuses the U.S. of a lot of things, but again, I'm not sure if that's true. Attempting to use it through cryptocurrencies. A lot of people are speculating that, right? I don't think it's just Putin, though. I think a lot of people, I think the U.S. knows they're in a lot of debt. One, and a lot of speculation to go back to your point about the Bureau of Labor Statistics. What do you think about the job numbers? They support a rate cut, and a lot of people are saying we need these rate cuts because a lot of debt is coming due, and we don't want to be paying a high interest on this debt. So the fact that we've been introducing all this regulations for stable coins, for crypto, and you're seeing all these ETFs get approved, I do think it's part of the plan to ease the debt, right? But again, cryptocurrency is kind of, it's really not, obviously it's a limited supply for BTC, but it's not really generating any money besides, people hodling it. So I don't know how it's gonna, because the money's coming from somewhere. It's not like it's just, they created the coin out of nowhere and they limited the supply. But what it could happen too, since other countries are buying in, that is kind of new money, right? So I guess the more crypto you hold, the more BTC you hold on your balance sheet, which the U.S. holds a lot from all the confiscations, and then just the U.S. companies that hold. So it could be a strategy to ease the debt or help pay off the debt. I'm not sure if this. Why is this disconnected? I think it's just a page. Yeah, it could be a strategy just to ease the debt or, help pay some of this off. I don't think it's going to pay all of it off unless the U.S. starts to buy a whole bunch, which they did have a plan to do that, right? I think the U.S. said they were gonna have some type of strategic reserve. Now, I don't know if that strategic reserve was from the BTC they confiscated, or is it going to be like, okay, every month the U.S. is going to buy, $1 billion worth of BTC, right? We haven't seen that yet. So to that point, if Putin's accusing that, we need to see more for that to be kind of confirmed. We need to see more buys from the U.S. to support that, right? Because right now they're really not. You're seeing U.S. companies buy, but that's not going to pay the debt for the U.S., right? You need to see the government start to buy and create like this strategic reserve where they're just like, okay, the money that we get from taxes is going to go to BTC, right? A portion of that, not all of it, obviously. All right, but yeah, that's what I think about that. All right, so let's start playing some chess. I'm gonna play like a few games and then I'll be done. But that's pretty much what we have to expect from the market. Fed rate cut coming in, and I think the market in I think the next few months are going to be good. So hopefully you're positioned to take advantage. All right, so let's do this, and let's play. I'm moving my score back up. My rapid, I fell from close to 1600 all the way back down to 1300, but I'm slowly working uh, working my score back up. All right, let's cancel here. Here. Darn it. I think I should be fine, actually. I got 2 pawns there. Hmm. I think I can actually take and be fine, actually. Hmm. Wow. Yeah, I had to, actually should be fine. I think. I had my rook in the way. Didn't see that. He could have taken it. I don't think he saw it either. Yeah, I'm gonna have to move this H pawn 2 to H3. I'm doing pretty good with time. I just gotta be careful because he's trying to checkmate me. As he should, but I can't let it happen. Yeah, no, buddy, I'm sorry. Um, Sorry, buddy, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Couldn't let you do that. All right, and I think I won. I won by time. I should be good to go. Um, Pretty much got it in the bag here. Um, Wow, this dude's moving super fast, huh? He's not trying to lose. He's not trying to lose, but he's going to lose. Yeah, I got to protect those pawns. Darn it. He's trying to draw it out. Yeah. Yep, he's trying to draw it out. Darn it. I did not win. There's no way, buddy. Imagine him winning. That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy. Wow, he really got that W. That was crazy. That was just me just being relaxed. Yeah, all right. That was me being relaxed. I could have just kept playing around. I should have took that pawn too, so he could never get that queen. Yeah, you think? I don't know what this guy thinks. Okay, now I gotta get the W for real. He played that incredibly well. All right. What? Am I missing something? Yeah, he definitely resigned. Got that W back. All right, I'm gonna play one more. That's crazy that he won that game. I need to learn how to pre-move because apparently, like, the pre-move for these blitz is very important. So that way you can reserve that time. I've tried before. I don't know if I think I've activated a settings within chess.com, but yeah, I need to get really way better with that. Well, I really don't rely on the time. I think too people, and it's not. Oh, I think once you get higher up, maybe that's not the case. But I think in the beginning, should just be worried about the tactics opposed to in the gameplay opposed to the time running out. You depend on the time to win. All right, let's do one more, and we'll be good for the day. All right, here. Of course. Of course. Of course. Yeah, we're not going to do that, buddy. Here. Get you up out of there. And I'm a long castle. How about that? There we go. That was a good move. You know what? That's not gonna work. I think that will work. Push that up. I wasted some time there. Ah! I had a free bishop. What's going on here? Move that there. That was good. All right, let's keep pushing these pawns up. Nope. I don't think so. All right, let's do this. Double up these rooks. Ah, gave him a free bishop. Crazy. All right, let's try to do something here. Oh, wow. Oof. Is that a checkmate? I think that is a checkmate. If he tries. Yeah, that is a checkmate right there. You could do a smaller time control if you want to practice that. Yeah, I have to do that. I have to practice that. I saw that checkmate though. He was gonna lose his bishop and he was contemplating like, but I don't think he saw the checkmate. But I seen it. My chess eyes are getting better. Yep. All right. But that's what we have to look forward to this week. Rate cuts, which is very exciting. And we'll see where the market ends up. I will go live tomorrow, and then Wednesday, and we'll see how the market is doing. But that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. A lot of mistakes on both sides. Yeah, a lot of mistakes. Take care.